AI in warfare is no longer science fiction. Algorithms now help find targets, steer swarms of drones, jam communications, and compress decision cycles to seconds. From Gaza to Ukraine, and from Pentagon labs to Shenzhen factories, artificial intelligence is moving from theory to practice on today's battlefields. In the next few minutes, I'm going to explain how AI is used in war right now, how different countries approach it, what risks and ethical questions it raises, and where this may be headed over the next decade. Let's start with what AI in warfare actually means in practice. Think of it in 3 layers. First, perception. Computer vision models that scan drone video and satellite imagery to recognize vehicles, artillery, air defenses, and even radar signatures. Second, decision support. Software that fuses data from sensors, scouts, satellites, and open sources, and then suggests courses of action to commanders. And third, autonomy. Systems that, once activated, can select and engage targets with little or no human intervention. That last category is what many people call lethal autonomous weapons. Now here's the important nuance. Most of what we see in combat today is partial autonomy. AI helps with target recognition. It helps with navigation in jammed environments. It helps drones hold a lock during the final seconds of a strike. A human still approves lethal force in most state militaries. Fully autonomous weapons that kill without a human in or on the loop remain controversial and far less common, though the line is getting blurrier as more tasks shift from humans to machines. With that foundation in place, let's talk about how different countries are approaching military AI, and why they differ. The United States is capability first, but with a heavy emphasis on responsible AI. The US military is funding hundreds of AI projects across the services. The philosophy is to harness AI for advantage while keeping humans in or on the loop for lethal decisions, backed by testing, auditability, and oversight. In short, innovate quickly, but retain human authorization and accountability. China's approach is state-driven scale, tightly integrating commercial AI into defense through civil-military fusion. The focus is on production, logistics, and persistent surveillance, with rapid export of drones and sensing platforms shaping norms through adoption. Think about it as centralized direction plus industrial speed. Public doctrine on human control is less explicit than in the US, and the emphasis is on capability and scale. Russia, by contrast, operates under budget constraints and leans into asymmetric tactics. It pushes massed, low-cost drones, loitering munitions, and heavy electronic warfare to blunt smarter systems. The playbook is attrition and jamming. Make autonomy harder for the enemy, and use cheap, expendable platforms to keep pressure on. The European Union leads on governance. Europe is driving international rules for autonomous weapons and emphasizes meaningful human control as a baseline. The trend in European policy is toward binding limits or bans on fully autonomous targeting, and strict requirements for safety, transparency, and accountability in any AI-enabled weapon. Israel illustrates rapid operationalization. It has fielded advanced loitering munitions and battlefield AI that speeds target identification and strike coordination, combined with layered air defenses that feature autonomous detection and response. Recent conflicts show how fast a technologically advanced military can integrate AI into real-world ISR and strike processes at scale. South Korea is a clear example of automated defense with human authorization. Stationary sentry systems along the demilitarized zone can autonomously detect and track intrusions, but doctrine requires a human to authorize lethal fire. That is the classic, on-the-loop model. The machine watches and warns, the human decides. The United Kingdom aligns closely with the US on keeping a meaningful human role in lethal decisions. It's investing in loyal wingmen, swarming drones, and AI-enabled ISR, while stressing lawful use, commander responsibility, and strong legal oversight. And then there is Ukraine, today's laboratory for AI-enabled autonomy. Ukraine has aggressively adopted AI for target recognition, autonomous navigation, and resisting electronic warfare across small, cheap, attritable drones. Human approval of lethal engagement is still the norm, but autonomy now often handles the navigation and the terminal approach. The result is higher strike success rates, lower costs per mission, and faster adaptation at the front. If you want to see partial autonomy at scale, watch Ukraine. Zooming in from national approaches to the battlefield, what's actually being done with AI today? The first big area is intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. Models scan full-motion video to spot and prioritize artillery, armor, and air defenses. They flag likely decoys. They cue fires faster than human analysts working alone. Humans still supervise, but machines are accelerating the pipeline. The second big area is autonomy for navigation and terminal guidance. Drones can fly pre-planned routes through jammed airspace, use onboard vision to stay on track, and then visually lock onto targets without constant operator input. At the moment of truth, a human typically confirms the strike. But the machine got it there. Swarming is the third area to watch. Small-scale swarms are moving from experiments toward operations. The promise is saturation, overwhelming defenses with numbers, agility, and adaptive tactics. This will depend on resilient communications and more decentralized decision-making at the edge. And on defense, autonomy is meeting autonomy. Automated counter-drone systems are using AI to detect, classify, and engage incoming drones at machine speed. This is becoming a race between smart attackers and smart defenders, each trying to outlearn the other in real time. All of this brings serious risks and ethical questions we can't ignore. The first is distinction and proportionality. Can machines reliably tell combatants from civilians under stress, deception, and incomplete information? Many experts remain skeptical, and adversaries will actively try to fool models. The second is accountability. If an autonomous or semi-autonomous system contributes to an unlawful killing, who is responsible? The commander who approved the operation? The developer who wrote the model? The manufacturer who integrated the system? International law demands human accountability, but longer AI-driven kill chains make attribution harder. The third is strategic instability. Cheap, fast, and deniable autonomous strikes shorten decision time and can encourage preemption. If leaders believe the first mover gains a decisive advantage at machine speed, they may move too quickly. That dynamic risks miscalculation and escalation. So what are governments doing about it? The global debate is crystallizing into two camps. Those pushing for a ban on fully autonomous weapons that operate beyond meaningful human control, and those arguing for strict regulation rather than prohibition. Momentum for new rules is growing. A large majority of states support work toward a legally binding instrument, likely combining outright prohibitions for certain uses with stringent regulation for others. At the same time, some major military powers prefer governance frameworks and safeguards within existing law, rather than categorical bans. Expect a long negotiation and, in practice, a patchwork of national standards. Let's shift from the current picture to the near future. Over the next 1 to 3 years, partial autonomy becomes routine. AI-assisted ISR and automatic target recognition are standard. Drones regularly fly partially autonomous routes in jammed environments. Humans remain on the loop for lethal approvals in most state militaries. Battle networks integrate AI into fire control, and the tempo of operations increases. Looking 3 to 7 years out, swarming, attritable mass, and automated defenses come into their own. Swarms move from trials to fielded capability. Cheap, good enough, drones with onboard models dominate reconnaissance and strike roles. Automated counter-drone systems become an essential base layer of defense for units, bases, and critical infrastructure. Electronic warfare and deception AI evolve in a fast cat-and-mouse cycle. 7 to 10 years from now, governance lines harden. A core group of states coalesces around a binding treaty that bans fully autonomous targeting against people, with carve-outs for certain defensive systems and strict certification standards. The US, the UK, and close partners double down on auditable, controllable AI with human authorization. China emphasizes scale, production, and flexible military uses under state oversight. The world settles into a de facto split between regulated autonomy with human control and pragmatic autonomy with state control. As this future unfolds, what should we watch to understand who's gaining advantage? First, watch the battlefield data loop. Nations that turn combat data into rapidly updated onboard models, and then push those models back to the edge quickly, will build a persistent edge. Second, watch swarm coordination breakthroughs. Reliable, resilient communications, combined with decentralized decision-making, will be a tipping point. Third, watch the treaty process. Whether a binding instrument emerges, and how the major powers position themselves, will shape norms and export controls. And fourth, watch export politics. The flow of drones and AI modules from major producers will set practical standards, regardless of legal progress. Let me end with a sober truth. AI won't remove humans from war. It will change what humans do in war. We will sense faster, decide faster, and act faster. That speed can save lives when used to intercept threats. It can also shorten the path to escalation when decisions compress to machine tempo. The real question isn't whether AI will be used in conflict. It's how we preserve meaningful human control, legal accountability, and strategic stability in an age of machine-speed warfare.